Hello and happy gaming, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I would like to talk a little bit about Warcraft 3. No, not that one. We're getting there, though, trust me. We are getting there. Apologies, I'm still kind of going through the final throes of my bronchitis, so I apologize. My voice is still a little iffy, and I still have a bit of a cough, so apologies for that, but first things first, I want to apologize for not having any actual Warcraft 3 footage in the background. It is not a game that I've actually played myself. It's partially because I'm just not big into the RTS genre, and partially because I've just never purchased the game, and nor do I plan on purchasing Reforged. But that doesn't mean that I don't know anything about Warcraft 3. And I'm very much aware of the impact that Warcraft 3 and Blizzard made on the genre and on gaming as a whole. Warcraft 3 was something that, when I was in school, was huge. People talked about the game, they talked about the campaign, they talked about the characters, they talked about all the little minor details, all the fun little things that you could do just by clicking on characters multiple times, which is something that amongst my group of friends was something that they really enjoyed, was just those fine little details, the characterization. People really liked the ability to make custom maps and custom campaigns. It was all in an attempt to not just make a good game, but to give people the means by which to show their creativity, to allow them a platform to really have something to shine with. Warcraft 3, even though I've never played it myself, is something that I know because of its legacy and because of what it passed down to gamers over the years. The game came out in 2002, but I know plenty about that game just because of its legacy. Even my roommate is a big RTS fan, and even though he's more into StarCraft than he was into Warcraft, trust me, he knows plenty about Warcraft 3. He knew all about the game, all about its little codes, its little secrets. This is a game that has been imprinted upon me thanks to the people around me, and it's even managed to inspire something like, well, let's just get right to it. One of its custom maps was the original Dota, which, I'm sorry, I need to look up what that means. Dota, what does that mean? Okay, yeah, I know Dota. Oh, there it is. Defense of the Ancients. It was a multiplayer online battle arena mod for Warcraft 3. That's where Dota came from, and when people started playing it and realized just how interesting it was and how much fun they could have with it, that's when Valve stepped in and said, hey, we really like this idea. Can we take this and turn it into something? And then you get Defense of the Ancients 2, which is massively huge to this day. It's one of the leading MOBAs in the market, and it's a multi-billion-dollar thing to this day. And yeah, that's the sort of legacy that Warcraft 3 has. It was a way for people to really express themselves, to really show their creativity and let themselves really have at it. That's what Warcraft 3 was to a lot of people, and one of the reasons why it's such a big staple, not just in gaming, or not just for Blizzard, but for gaming in general. So, Warcraft 3 Reforged came out just recently. This was something that was originally teased at BlizzCon 2018, and at the time, it looked promising. It looked like something that people were going to be like, yes, it's back! And they were going to have all sorts of fun with it. They were going to recreate some of the old custom maps, create all new custom maps. That would have been a lot of fun. That could have been just amazing to see the new story elements, the updated details. It would have been so great. That is, if Blizzard wasn't who Blizzard is now. You know, back in 2002, Blizzard could, give a shit. But nowadays, ooh, oh, Blizzard, Blizzard, Blizzard. What have you become? First things first, before I really get into it, let me make sure that my filter is working. Fuck! There we go. Now that the fuck factor has been turned up, let's get into things. Now, I'm going to put these articles in the description, but from Forbes, Warcraft 3 Reforged is a disaster. Here's why fans are so upset. And so, I'm going to skip over a good number of things, but just kind of bullet point a few things. We first started to notice that Blizzard was going downhill with that lovely, lovely Diablo Immortal announcement.
Just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
And that was the capstone that they put on BlizzCon 2018. That was what they thought everyone wanted, was mobile game Diablo. Good job, guys. And then came the Hong Kong protests with BlitzChung, who he didn't even necessarily speak out against them. He just said free Hong Kong. That's all he said, and oh, they came down on him like a ton of bricks. Oh no, they were not happy that he decided to, have freedom of speech? I've already spoken about that at length. I'm not going to get into it now, but yeah, even a lot of American politicians spoke up about that, and it was politicians on both sides of the aisle. Let's get one thing straight here. These are people that are so entrenched in their own mob mentality that they couldn't even agree on where to go for lunch. But they definitely agree that Blizzard done fucked up. The Overwatch 2 announcement was, not so great. And even I've never played Overwatch. It's not really my game. But even to me, it looked more like an expansion rather than a whole new sequel. And even Diablo 4 is really, it looked I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not excited for it, but they have a few years to work on it, so hopefully it'll be something worthwhile. Warcraft 3 Reforged is something that they made a lot of promises about. So let's see how they fucked it up. Blizzard promised better cutscenes with improved graphics, cinematics, and voice work, but what they showed off at BlizzCon, even as far back as 2018, is not what we got in the final game. So I actually went out of my way to gather up the cinematics for this so you can see it for yourself. Here is what they showed at BlizzCon 2018.
Oh no, we're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead. This entire city must be purged.
What? How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city!
Yeah, doesn't look too terrible, does it? Looks like it might actually have something worthwhile there, huh? Alright, now let's see what we got for the actual release.
Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead. This entire city must be purged.
What? How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city.
Notice a difference? Notice just how exceptionally awful they did that? How it was basically not an actual cinematic, but just, the RTS camera with the new models? Real nice, isn't it? So, let's move on to the next bullet point. Gamers are reporting numerous bugs, crashes, hang-ups, assets not loading, and many other problems that shouldn't exist in a remaster of a decades-old game. Some are saying the UI looks worse than before, Others say the game in general looks worse, though this is subjective. I will say from what I've seen, yeah, sure, the models look better, but you have to zoom in real close in order to really notice any improvement in the actual models. So, considering that in order to actually effectively play an RTS game, you have to play with a wide view to actually see things, that's really not that big a deal. Like, the big model improvements to me aren't really even anything worth talking about. The performance, on the other hand, that is something that needs to be looked at, and if this is performing worse than a game from 2002, maybe, just maybe, Blizzard, you shouldn't have bothered. Many users have been experiencing login and connectivity issues as well. Connecting to custom matches or even accessing the campaign has been an issue for many. This one is really, really bad. Now that both Reforged and the original game are on the same online infrastructure, those connectivity issues will impact the original as well. And actually, we have a whole article from Polygon talking about that. Warcraft 3 Reforged came out yesterday and fans are not happy. This is a bit more complicated than your run-of-the-mill people are angry on the internet situation, however. That's because this new game and the old one, the product that was first released in 2002, are intermingled. The end result is that the inadequacies of Warcraft 3 Reforged are being foisted upon people still playing the original Warcraft 3. So, kind of coming down here, what they basically did is they took the original Warcraft 3, and as soon as you connect it to their Battle.net service, it automatically downloads for you the new assets from Warcraft 3 Reforged, and essentially pushes that on you with no way to go back. So, if you don't want their new shit, what you basically have to do is find the old Warcraft 3, find a website hosting the updates, update it to version 1.27, I believe is what I read, and then keep that version as far away from Battle.net as you possibly can. That doesn't need to be the case. That shouldn't have to be a thing. They've gone so far out of their way to completely ruin their work that they've completely trashed and ruined the original masterpiece. Some basic features of the original are no longer in the remaster. And actually, we've got a bit of a Reddit post here to go off of. According to user Holy Furor 1 day ago, I've made a quick list of features that had existed in Warcraft 3 since day one that got removed with this new release. Please add items that I missed. Here's what he has on here. This new version no longer has automated tournaments, clans, profiles, the ladder system. No longer has 3D animated campaign backgrounds. 3D animated portraits in Battle.net, gone. The / commands in Battle.net chat, communal channels listing. See, other things that other people have pointed out as being removed. Custom campaigns. We're going to get into that in just a minute, because it's not that they've been removed, it's that Blizzard is now being fucking Blizzard. The Battle.net news section. And ROC campaign balance. I don't exactly know what that means, but it now uses TFT balance. So, yeah. It's amazing to think that things that were in the game in the original 2002 release from the very beginning, in this version, nah, who needs that? Who wants things like, actual clans and profiles and tournaments and a ladder system for ranked matchmaking? Who needs any of that? Fuck, just give them slightly better models. That's all these gamers really want. They just want things to look better. Holy shit! can we be about done with this push for better and better graphics? Because the graphics on most games are fine now. I'm not worried about how high fidelity you can make the graphics. I don't necessarily need to see every pore on someone's skin. You know what I need? I need the game to work right! I don't think that's asking too much! Oh my god, but it still gets worse. It still gets fucking worse! With the arrival of Warcraft 3 Reforged, there was hope that the original game's thriving custom game scene would be revived. And I've already talked about how it was through Warcraft 3's custom game that Dota became a thing. And then because of Dota, we now have Dota 2 and League of Legends. That was an entire genre of game that was created because of a very creative person working with the Warcraft 3 assets to create something entirely new. And Blizzard used to allow for it. They used to be okay with you being creative. Oh my god. Anyway. But any kind of big revival of that scene looks pretty unlikely. That's due to recent changes Blizzard has made to its acceptable use policy. For starters, any custom games that use copyright material from third parties are banned. As Blizzard forum user Thunderpope points out, that means Warcraft 3 custom games like Anime Fight, DBZ Tribute, and Pimp My Mario cannot be remade. Now, to be fair, those were things that I didn't know existed. Like I said, I was never big into the Warcraft 3 scene. But just hearing about those kind of makes me want to go check them out. I mean, who isn't a little bit excited by the thought of Pimp My Mario? Holy shit, I want that! Alright, anyways. By the way, this is all coming from a third article that I will link in the description by PC Gamer. See, this kind of restriction isn't unusual these days. Creative Assembly has a similar policy for Total War outlined for Steam Workshop content. Please refrain from creating mods that are designed to provoke, intimidate, or antagonize other groups, reference other IP, or create content of a sexual nature, it reads. But that hasn't stopped people from making Total War mods based on the Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. And, you know what? Fair. I don't see why people should not borrow a little bit from other IPs to play around with, so long as they're not claiming that those IPs are their own. A larger part of Blizzard's policy details how all ownership of custom games in Reforged belongs to Blizzard and not the creators. That means Blizzard can do whatever it wants with any custom games, which includes removing them completely if the content is deemed inappropriate. This is also a pretty standard policy. It might be a pretty standard policy, but that's still really shitty. To take other people's work and then say, yeah, that's mine now, fuck you. Already, this is starting to sound terrible. But it gets worse. However, where Blizzard has gone a bit further than other policies, including those written up by Epic Games and Riot, is having instant and total copyright ownership of all custom games. What that means is any custom game made in Warcraft 3 Reforged cannot be replicated anywhere else. This gives Blizzard the power to shut down any standalone versions of custom games made in Reforged. Gee guys, you're not still a little salty about Dota, are you? You're not trying to miss out on the next big thing, are you? You're not just trying to turn around and take a shit on someone just because they did something that you didn't think about, are ya? No, of course not. This isn't just being salty about Dota 2. Not at all. Seriously, guys. This is not only completely overstepping your boundaries, but I actually think that might be a little illegal. Look, I don't care how much you missed out on your Dota money, or how much you wished you could still cash in on the MOBA cash train, which, by the way, you tried to do with Heroes of the Storm, and you could still be making money off of that, but you decided, nope, fuck it, we don't have the time or energy to be worried about our own IP. No, let's just take someone else's shit. Oh my god, Blizzard, what the fuck happened to you? You know what, don't answer that question. I already know what happened to you. Activision and Bobby fucking Kotick, that's what happened to you. My god. And you know what, I get it. When you're now, instead of just being a team of devs about, let's say, roughly 200 people strong just making whatever you want to make, you now have to worry about conglomerate decisions and the shareholders and what they want and all of this. And all of that does get in the way of just making games, I am aware. But when what you're churning out is literally a downgrade to something that was made in 2002! Ugh! Oh my god, it hurts my soul. I haven't even played Warcraft 3 and it hurts my soul. Ugh. Blizzard, I don't know what happens to your policies, to your ethics, to whatever it was that you had when you were making wonderful games, but you need to get that back. You need to split away from Activision. You need to go back to the days when you could just make whatever you wanted to make, and you need to stay there. That is what made you popular. That is what made you beloved. It's because you actually had a soul. It's because you actually created things. Because you took something that you loved and ran with it. Now look what you've become. Just another fucking finger puppet for Bobby Kotick and his fucking corporate shares. Absolutely sad. Absolutely fucking pathetic. Anyway, that's all I've got for right now. Seeing what Blizzard has done with Warcraft 3 really makes me sad, and it lets me know that, yeah, the Blizzard that we used to all know and love, they're gone. To be fair, they've been gone, but now there's no chance of recovery. We're not gonna be able to save it from going down the toilet. It's circled the bowl, gone down, and gotten stuck in the drainage pipe a few miles underneath the house. That's where Blizzard is right now. It's a few miles underneath the house, being covered in shit and piss, and being completely unrecognizable at this point. That's what Blizzard is. It's the goldfish that you flush down the toilet. So, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully what I had to say made some sense to you. And yeah, I'm sorry, Blizzard, but your time is done. Your time was done when you decided to stand up against free speech. But yeah, now it's just over. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy left for you and the decisions that you've decided to make. You people screwed yourselves. And I hope other people are understanding that. Anyway, that's all for me right now. Subscribe if you want to see more. I like to talk about this sort of thing. And I'll see you guys in a future video. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.